So you're going to start off with your section that you want to flip, and you'll connect a punty, getting the tips hot. This can be a fusion or a cold tack. We'll come up out of the flame and let it cool. So now we're going to heat up all the clear underneath the section we want to flip, and we're going to blow up a big ball. I'm going to go back and forth, heating up this section. You can get a good angle on it, get the most out of your flame. And then once we have that all hot, collect it up. We'll take it out of the flame and give it a puff. Blow that guy up. I got my blow tube a little hot in this demonstration, so it gets a little unstraight, but that's okay. I'm going to drop it back in the flame. I'm going to straighten that guy out. In the process here, sometimes you can blow up your ball a little too thin. That's okay too. You're going to drop that back down in the flame. I'm going to simultaneously thicken up the ball while straightening out my blow tube, and then I'll be back in action. I'm going to take it out of the flame one final time, give it a couple final puffs, keeping our blow tube and our punty straight. We'll let that cool down. And now we're going to detach our punty. Shooting the flame underneath, we're going to rip that guy away, and we're simultaneously going to rip away any glass that we find misfit or subpar. The glass on here can be colored or clear. Mine is clear because I plan to rip it all away and attach it to a whole other section with no color between. And now, as you can see, we took all the color, we're going to heat it all up, and then we're going to give it a couple puffs here and there to make it more round and make it look more like a Pokeball. From there, we're going to heat up just the color, and then we're going to melt that guy down more and more flat. Once it's flat, you're going to remain heating and give it a little bit of a suck inward. That will collapse your color inside of the clear half sphere that you have, and don't allow it to touch the clear wall. While it's still hot, you can take a tungsten or a reamer, place that in the center of your flip, and with a push in the right direction, make sure that everything is nice and straight. Now that your section is flipped, you're going to take a large section of tubing that is the same size as the section that you just flipped. This can be a tube or a bubble that you blew up, but you're going to flare it out and make sure it's the same size as the section you just flipped. And you're going to connect them together. You're going to heat up both edges, and then you can connect them in or out of the flame. I connected out of the flame for this demonstration. Once you have them connected, you're going to give them a little spin and make sure that it stays nice and straight. And let that guy cool down. You can also puff into it to retain wall thickness. And then we're going to heat up the section of glass that we collapsed our flip into, and we're going to give it a puff and a pull, and that's going to thin out the glass a whole bunch. So we get it nice and hot. Take it out of the flame, puff and pull. That way we're going to thin it out and it's not going to touch our section. Then we'll give it a puff in the flame and it will pop right open, and we'll rip that guy right off, just like that. Alright, so now you're going to have a lip of clear glass. You're going to get it all hot, and we're going to cut it off. We're going to use shears to cut it off, but at first we're going to try to whip it open. We're going to get it really hot. We got to ream that guy open. So we can use a reamer. You're going to get it hot, use a reamer and ream it open as I am like this, or we can just use centrifugal force and actually whip it open. We just have to spin it a little faster, so you'll see me do that here. See that I'm whipping it a little bit and it's opening, so I get a little hotter, trying to focus the flame right on the edge that you're trying to get rid of. Get that edge really, really hot. We'll whip it really fast and it'll open up for us. Then we'll take our shears and we'll cut that edge right off. And then if you don't make it all the way before it cools down, you can always heat it up a little bit. Snip the rest off. There you go. So now we're going to use a punty to scrape away any little last chips or little leftover bits of glass that might be on the edge from when we cut it. And then we can use a flame and a paddle to polish that guy off and paddle him down to make him nice. Nice and cylindrical. And if your fusion isn't quite the way you want it to be, you can connect up a punty, just like I did here, and heat up right where the section and your clear glass meet. You don't want to heat up your color at all. And you can heat up the section of clear with the major flame or the minor flame, smaller flame or larger flame. You just make that look nice. Nice and straight. Then we'll tear off our punty. Take off any little bits of glass we don't want there. And then we're going to heat up just the color. We don't want to heat up the clear behind it too much. We just really want to heat up just that color there. We're going to paddle it down a little bit. It's pretty wide right now. We're going to puff into it as well. We want the tip to expand just a little bit while we paddle it. Puffing into it, paddling. And then you'll see we have a sock flipped section. And there we go. That's how to sock flip. Thank you for watching, and please like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell.